What a life I live. That on the day of my official worldwide debut, I get to just relax at home while my kids are at school. I get to center myself and do something that I love, which is diamond painting. Um, I've learned something about diamond painting. When I first started doing it, it literally was just something beautiful, like a way to have a hobby, right? That wasn't attached to my work or like anything like that. It was just for me, just something I enjoyed. But now I'm just starting to see so many different connections from it, right? Like this is, let me show you. This is, oops, sorry. I did not know that was going to knock that over. My bad. Okay. Oop. Yeah. So this is the diamond painting that I'm working on. So it's pretty huge. What's the size? It's 16 inches by 20. So it's big, right? It is like the length of this, right? And this is the photo. That's what it's going to look like in the end. But right now, it just looks like a bunch of nothing. But that's the beauty of it, right? It's up to me how long it takes, right? Like how much time I dedicate to it. And it'll get done quicker if I dedicate more time to it. But sometimes it's really not about getting it done quicker. Sometimes it's just enjoying the journey and just using this to clear my mind. So I share diamond painting with everyone because I just believe it's such a beautiful thing to do. Um, and afterwards you have something to show for it. So like there are certain things that you just do and it's an experience, but you don't have anything to show for it. I get to enjoy this journey, but at the end, I have a beautiful piece of artwork that I can display. I can sell it if I want. But at this point in my life, I'm doing the ones that I want to display in my home. So that's what I'm doing. But now let's talk about divorce. Because it's divorce and diamond painting, right? So my book is out now. It is available on Amazon, so worldwide. I did have a pre-sale in September, but that was for a specific bundle. So those who took advantage of my pre-sale, they got the book and the accompanying uh, companion journal. The set is best, honestly, because when you read the book, I give you, reflections and things like that in the book. But the companion journal really takes the lessons and the things that you learn to a completely different level, right? There are prayers in it. There are affirmations to help you rewire your brain to be positive and open to love again, because I know how difficult it can be to even imagine love or marriage again after you have been through a divorce. Like, I know it sounds extremely dramatic, but divorce feels like death. It feels like death, but the person is still alive. So it's this really weird thing because it's the death of a dream. It's the death of a relationship. It's it's a death of a future that you thought you were building or were going to have. Like it's it's the death of so many things. And it really is a process that you have to go through to heal. Um in order to even be open to the possibility of love. When I went through divorce, let me tell you, I was like, I'm finna be a lonely lady who just loves her kids. Like, that's what I told myself. I was like, I'm finna just pour into my kids. Um, I almost didn't want to coach anymore because I've been a coach for over a decade. But I was so hurt. I was so disappointed by what I was going through. Um, because by all accounts, and this is definitely ego, right? I'm gonna tell you that. I'll be honest about it. I was like, I'm a relationship coach. I Oh no, we not finna do that. I don't know who you are, so and so's gaming. You're out of here. I don't play that. Bye. Like, how do we, like, no, you're out of here. Don't do that. But anyway, I was so distraught and so embarrassed by my marriage not being to the standard. And when I say to the standard, I mean my own standard, not like societal standards. I don't care about those. And because I was a relationship coach and because I was helping other people get married and be happy and have thriving marriages, I was really embarrassed. Like, why am I in this marriage going nowhere? If you don't care, leave. Laura. Y'all are funny. Y'all are funny. But thanks for the watch time. Thanks for stopping by and giving me the minutes. Hi, Amanda. I'm going to continue to talk and I'm going to take a break from looking at the comments. So, back to what I was saying. So, I really felt the way about being in a marriage that wasn't fruitful, right? The love was there. We did have that, right? We did love each other and we married based on that. But how many people know that love is not enough? Love is not enough to make a marriage work. You have to have way more than that. And I knew that, but it's funny about the things you could know and you'll still make different decisions, right? You'll still go against that if someone doesn't agree with you, right? And fundamentally, I wanted to be a wife that submitted to her husband and allowed him to lead and all of those things. But I was married to somebody that was not in a position to lead us. And I'm not saying he's not a leader. I'm saying he wasn't in a position to lead us at that time. And we had no business getting married. We absolutely didn't. We were not prepared. We didn't do the proper things. And that's why it didn't work, right? But I went back to the drawing board and back to everything that I learned, everything that I learned in school, everything I learned through having a coaching program and really just recommitting my life to God and asking God to point out the lessons to me. Like, I wasn't blaming my ex. I was like, God, this happened for a reason. Like, let me know what I was supposed to learn here. Because I know it wasn't for nothing. What was I supposed to learn? Why did this happen? What am I supposed to do with this information? And God showed me, like, we all go through things in order to help each other live better lives, experience more love, more abundance, more happiness, more health, right? So even in your most difficult of times, it's going to bless you and it's going to bless someone else. And I got the idea for this book, Break Up Now, because what I realized is so many people realize that they're not in a fruitful marriage and it's not going to get better. But they're ashamed of admitting that. They're ashamed of admitting, maybe I married the wrong person. Maybe I had the wrong motivations. Maybe we didn't prepare well enough. Maybe we don't want the same things. They're ashamed of that, right? Because there's such a shame that comes with divorce. Divorce is like wearing a scarlet letter, right? You're stupid. You chose wrong. You failed, right? That's the messaging. that is pushed about divorce. So many people will just keep suffering. They'll keep suffering in a marriage that's not healthy for anyone, just to say they stayed married. And then for those of us who are raised in the church or who have a spiritual background, then you're told by everybody, God hates divorce. You're given that blanket statement. So now you think, oh, God hates divorce. So if I do that, God's not going to love me anymore. I'm going to lose my right standing with God, right? But we never connect it with, well, if you're in something that God never even ordained, how does that, like if God never wanted you there, if you never involved God in the marriage, if your marriage doesn't glorify him, if he's not involved, why do you think that you're forever stuck there? It makes no sense. If we think about how, we sin, we make mistakes and we ask forgiveness, why couldn't you ask for forgiveness for choosing wrong? Why couldn't you ask for forgiveness for marrying without making sure that God was going to be the center? Why not? So I explored that. I did some Bible research and I included that in the book. And it's going to free a lot of women that are stuck because of that God hates divorce. So I talk about that. Now, I want to be clear, right? This book is not an autobiography, right? So it's not just me just talking about my situation. No, I share parts of my situation so you know why I care about this. You know why I'm equipped to talk about this. And I give you the background. But I also give statistics. I also give scriptural background, okay? I also talk about the other women I've coached and talked to and divorcees that have shared their story, right? And more than anything, in the book, I help you decipher whether or not you're just in a marriage that needs help, coaching, counseling, something like that, an intervention, or you're in a marriage that shouldn't have happened. You're in a marriage that's not healthy. You're in a marriage that is going to break up no matter what. That's what I help you look at. I help you determine that. And then depending on where you fall, I help you break up. I give you an exact plan of how to do it in a healthy way. So you don't then have to rebound from that too and recover from a messy breakup. And then we release the shame, right? And I give you a plan for how you can get your life back, how you can start loving yourself holistically again, how you can learn. And it can be a lesson instead of you just feeling ashamed and feeling like you failed. That doesn't help anyone. So that's my little, my little spiel. And there is the accompanying journal. Now listen, it is best if you get the set. Because the book, it walks you through all of that. It walks you through being able to tell whether or not your marriage is salvageable. It walks you through why people don't break up and why it's so hard, right? Then it walks you through why you should. Like, what's the benefits of it? Then I walk you through how to break up if you need to. Then I walk you through life after, how to kind of rebound and put your life back together, right? And find peace. Find peace. Oh my goodness. So that's what you get in the book. But in the companion journal, what you're going to get is prayers. You're going to get affirmations to rewire your mind and your belief system for positivity and for love so that you won't give up on love and marriage just because of this situation. And it has journal prompts that take the lessons in the book and it helps you to reflect on your own story, your own circumstance, what you should do next. It helps you walk through all of that. Because I'm a coach, I wrote it like in a way that you get the benefits of my coaching, but it's at your own pace. You can read at the level that you're comfortable. You can journal at the level that you're comfortable. And some of these things are, hard to accept. They're going to be hard to hear, and they're going to be hard to accept. But at the end of the day, it really does free you. And that's another thing, right? What I do right now is I work with women. Most of them are divorced or they've been in long-term relationships that didn't lead to marriage. But these are women who want marriage, right? And I work with them to help them heal, up level themselves so that they can attract better quality men and get married, right? And thrive in marriage. Yes, I'm remarried, thriving, living the life, right? So clearly, I know what I'm talking about firsthand, but also in the women that I work with. But honestly, in order to help more women, I realize that there's a lot of women that need to get free. There's a lot of women that want to work with me, but then I get so many women that reach out to me and say, man, Deanna, I love what you're doing. I love what you teach. I love everything about the Kepti movement. Like, I love it, but I'm already married. And if I would have saw you years ago, I would have done things differently. Like, there's a lot of women that I know that are in marriages that do not suit them and they just feel stuck. And I'm trying to free. Give us free. Like, legitimately, I'm trying to. I know I may not be able to physically coach every woman. I may not be able to meet every woman, but that is why I put this information in a book. Did I get a divorce? Yes, I did. Yes, I got a divorce. I was married to my children's biological father. We have 2 children together, and we were married. We weren't married long. We were in a relationship for 4.5, almost 5 years before we got married, and then we were married for 2 years. But fun fact, even though we were married for 2 years, we did not celebrate either anniversary. Like, it's really weird, right? When I think about how things happen, because we were married on paper, we did live together, all of that, but we didn't do hardly anything that a married couple does. So when I remarried, it's almost like I was actually marrying for the first time because I'm just now doing any of the things that you would do married. But I actually thank God for that because it doesn't feel like I've been married twice. I know I was, right? And I got the kids to prove it. But as far as like actually having a partnership in a real marriage, only this time. Um And I don't like, I'm trying to be careful because I don't want to dishonor my ex in any way, right? I don't believe that we should do that. We married each other because we loved each other. We thought it was a good idea, right? We had the right intentions when we did that. So I don't want to dishonor him in any way. He's not a bad person. I don't have anything bad to say about him. We just were not a match for forever. We probably should have never gotten married. Although we're both great people, we talk to each other now. It's fine. I've learned so much about relationships, marriage, what's needed, when you shouldn't do it, all the things. Um, yeah, but I try to be very careful about that because we do still have children together. I'm not trying to dishonor him in any way. But in so many ways, I feel like I really only been married one time because in my marriage now with my true husband, Will, we have done everything as a married couple. You know, everything, full disclosure, becoming best friends, partnering in vision and legacy, parenting, merging everything we have, truly becoming one the way God intended it. And that's what I want women to experience, right? And I say women because I talk to mostly women, but Gentlemen, I love you fellas, right? I am not one of those women who down talk men and talk bad about them. We need you. I love men. I'm a supporter of marriage that benefits both people. But you'll frequently hear me say women because those are my clients. Yeah, that's sad. I mean, it is, but it has also helped me help other people. So that's what I choose to focus on. So I feel like this live is much longer. I said I was going to do 5 or 10 minutes. It ended up being 20. Lots of gems and nuggets in there. So let me recap and round it up real quick. Break Up Now was born while I was still married. And I realized it was not going to work and I needed to break up. And I came to the realization that a lot of people feel this way about marriage. And what they end up doing is they either just end up staying for a really long time and breaking up later after they've wasted years, after they hate each other, after all of those things. And I did not want that. So I broke up early, right? And that was kind of the birth of this book, right? If you are going to break up, if you know it's not going to work, don't wait. Break up now. It's better to do it now than to wait and cause more harm. So it's available now on Amazon. I have the book, I have the companion journal. Get it. Get it and get free. If you don't need the book, tell someone else who might. Your coworker that's in that marriage that you know is no good. Your cousin who keeps bringing the same lame around. And this is not just for women, men too. The links are in the description of this live. Go ahead and support. Thank you for those who tuned in and were respectful. I really appreciate you. I am Deanna, the Kept Wife Strategist, and I primarily work with women who are high achieving. They're usually business owners or entrepreneurs of sorts, career women who are used to having a life full of career wins and success. But I take them from having just that type of life to also including partnership, wedding rings, and being well kept. So that's what I focus on, right? But right now, I'm promoting my book, Break Up Now, releasing the shame of divorce and finding the peace and letting go. Love you all. Bye.